Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Gizmo Joe. As you can see in front of me, I have a USB stick. This is the Silicon Power Blaze B30 USB 3.2 Gen 1 flash drive. It has a whopping capacity of 256 gigabytes. Now, I know this isn't the biggest flash drive on the market, but what's crazy about this guy is that this is only 10.95 or something like that, basically 11 bucks for 256 gigabytes. That's a pretty good deal. At the time of making this video, this is the cheapest high capacity USB drive that I could find on Amazon, and like I said, it's about 11 bucks. It looks pretty cool as well. It's got this sort of, like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's got sort of this diamonds, plasticky bit on there. And it's a swivel sort of style USB. I wouldn't buy USB 2 these days. I know they still exist, and they are definitely budget devices. If you just need a little bit of storage, you definitely got to get your USB 3. And again, large capacities like this, you're going to be using it for larger files, and so USB 3 is definitely preferable. Obviously, on the back here, we've got some warranty information. You've got all the junk in different languages, but I mean, it's a USB. I don't really need directions in order to use this. But like I said, it's 11 bucks, looks pretty good. And what we're going to do is we're going to open this guy up. We'll take a look at the build quality once we get it out of this sort of tamper-proof security packaging. And then we're going to stick it into a computer, and we're going to test some of the read-write speeds. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've got my trusty razor blade cutter here. Just be real careful when you are, I've already made an incision, as you can probably tell. Just be real careful when you're using knives, obviously. I don't think I need to tell anybody that. Basically, just pry that guy right out, and he's good to go. So again, the packaging has, see your warranty information as a QR code. So if you want that warranty, definitely give that a scan with your phone. I'm going to put my knife over here. And here is the USB stick itself. It doesn't weigh all that much. It definitely is plastic. It's not metal. However, the swivel sort of cap, if you want to call it that, is metal. What I like about this little swivel cap is that, most of these sort of drives that I've had in the past, the swivel cap just sort of swivels around. This actually locks into place, and I think you can hear it as I am moving it. So it's pretty secure. You move it this way, it will lock at that sort of 90-degree angle, and it will do it on the other side as well. Now, this says that it's 360, so I'm sure if I swing it around, yep, it's got enough clearance for the entire body. It does lock back here as well, and then the other side, and then back around again. So as we can see on the front here, it just says SP. It's got the little Silicon Power logo, and then it just tells you the capacity, 256 gigabytes. It does have a little notch here, so if you want to put it on a keychain or something like that, you could, although I would argue that this is sort of a standard size USB, a little bulky for my keys, or at least how I prefer to keep my keys a little bit more streamlined and minimal. Anyway, it's a standard USB. Obviously, we've got the blue plastic, I don't know what you would call this little bit, but that indicates that it's USB 3. So, if you have a computer that doesn't have all USB 3, just make sure that you're matching that blue with a blue port on your laptop or PC to make sure that you are achieving those USB 3 speeds. Overall, the build quality is pretty nice. Like I said, the body here is plastic. The swivel cap is metal. It looks nice. It looks premium. But again, it's a USB stick, whatever. It's 11 bucks, and it's 256 gigabytes, which is pretty fantastic. So what we're going to do next is we're going to pop this into my laptop, and we are going to test some read-write speeds with different types of files and see what sort of performance we get out of this guy. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've got the Silicon Power 256 gigabyte USB stick plugged into a USB 3 port on my computer. And basically what I've got here is this middle folder here. I've got two short movie files. So one is 173 megabytes, the other one is 259 megabytes. And then over on this folder over here, we've got a bunch of individual photos that I've taken that are just backups off of my phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first try to transfer these two movie files to the USB stick, which is over on the folder on the left. and we're just going to see how long it takes to get an idea of the write speed of this particular device. So here we go. As you can see, it looks like we're getting about 10 megabytes a second. There's a little fluctuation here. It doesn't seem to be dropping lower than 8. So yeah, it's hovering between 8 and about 10.5, 10.9 megabytes per second. So not the fastest write speed I've seen, but decently fast, I suppose. You know, again, it's not the fastest I've seen. Which is a bit of a shame. But again, for 11 bucks, what can you expect? What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to queue up. I'm not going to copy all of these individual photos. I just want to get an idea of, you know, if I do like a batch copy, you know, to get an idea of how long you know, that might take. So I'm just going to highlight a whole bunch. I've got about 48 selected here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag them over into the folder with the USB. And it looks like, yeah, we're chugging along, definitely at a slower speed. I'm looking at about 3 megabytes per second to about, you know, 5-ish. But yeah, it's definitely hovering around that sort of 3.5. I mean, you're seeing a little bit pop up into the 7 megabytes per second mark. But again, not the fastest in the world. So if you look at the average sort of file size of these photos, it's about 3 megabytes, 4 megabytes, 5 megabytes. And like I said, I was only copying about 48 of them. So not the best write speeds here, which is a bit of a shame. But like I said, you know, this is a massive amount of space. You know, 256 gigabytes for 11 bucks in that small form factor is pretty good, in my opinion. So yeah, not the best write speeds, but maybe in different conditions, different computers, whatever, you might see a little bit better in terms of the write speed, but yeah, pretty mediocre. Okay, so final judgments on the Silicon Power Blaze B30 USB stick. I think it's excellent value in terms of the storage capacity. You get 256 gigabytes for about 11 bucks right now. It is USB 3, but it doesn't have the best write speeds that I've seen. But the design is pretty good. It's got that sort of like diamondy, shimmery sort of quality to it. Plastic build, but the cap here, which is a swivel cap, it does lock into place, which I found quite nice. And it is metal, and it has that sort of brushed logo on it, so it's pretty nice. So like I said, it's not the best USB in the world, but it is a massive amount of storage in a very small form factor for really cheap. 11 bucks, can't beat it. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned. I'll be back with another one soon. This is Gizmo Joe, signing off.